Welcome back to Trillium Talk. It's day 2 of the provincial election campaign here in Ontario. Liberal Leader Bonnie Crombie officially opened her campaign office in Mississauga, East Cooksville, a short time ago. And our very own Alan S. Hale was there to cover it. Alan, there was a ton of speculation around the riding that Crombie would run in. Perhaps start by speaking to that a bit and what Crombie had to say to Party faithful a short time ago.
Well, we knew she was going to run in Mississauga, but now here we are at her new campaign headquarters. So we had quite a gathering here. I think we got people. She's right behind me. In fact, look at that. I'm still talking to people. There's lots of people here today. She's apparently a lot of locals, people who've supported her during the mayor campaign. There we go. See, lots of see, lots of activity still going on here. We'll go over here a little bit so we're not interrupting people. But yeah, so clearly there's she has quite a following here in Mississauga, East Cooksville. And yeah, so we were a lot of talking about how this election is not about tariffs, like the way that Doug Ford is trying to make it out to be. She definitely, that was a line that was repeated several times. There's definitely trying to avoid the tariff subject, and more talking about other things that are more immediate for a lot of Ontarians, which would be, at least for the moment, which would be like healthcare specifically. And didn't really want to talk about her didn't put a lot of emphasis on the campaign here. She was saying that she has to go around the province, and so hopefully she's thinking that she's popular enough here that she will win this handily. And I mean, she has reason to think so. She did win the Mississauga mayorship quite handily in the past, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Alan, yesterday Crombie said, and I'm quoting here, "You can't slap on a hat and pretend you're a leader," of course referring to Doug Ford's Canada's Not For Sale ball cap. She made the comment wearing a ball cap of her own, which read, "Real leaders fix healthcare." It seems rather ironic, doesn't it?
Well, a little bit. It may be the kettle calling the pot black, or however that saying goes. But I mean, you can't deny the impact that hat had when Ford wore it to the Council of Federation meeting. It made international headlines. Cheesy as it is, or inspirational as it is, however you want to look at it, made a big splash. And I guess people are just loving the hats these days.
They certainly seem to be in style these days.
Yes, and I mean, it's kind of just it was an kind of a funny thing to say when you slapped a label on your own hat. But I mean, the overall point I guess she's trying to make is that Doug Ford is shirking his responsibilities supposedly by calling this election, and that he is and she's accused him of playing Captain Canada, trying to be out there and be the chief negotiator, I guess, for Canada in the potential trade war with the United States. So, and I don't know, that may be it's an interesting line of attack. I think a lot of people have been impressed with what Doug Ford has done in terms of trying to handle, get out there and try to push back against these tariffs. I don't know how effective that is going to be as an attack line, but she is pushing it. And I'm sure if we asked Doug Ford, he'd be happy to be Captain Canada. I'm
sure he would. Okay, all kidding aside, Alan, what does the rest of the day for Bonnie Crombie look like?
It looks after this, it sounds like she's going to go and do some canvassing in her riding, go do some door knocking, which is always fun in the winter. And I think that's about it for what we've been told she's doing today, at the very least. Yes.
All right. So what about the other leaders, Doug Ford, Marit, Stiles, and of course, Mike Schreiner?
So Doug Ford is down in London today, and then he's going to have a press conference, another campaign stop, and then he is going to go and take a tour of the Labatt Brewery. which which he's always a big fan of. He always seems to like to go to tour manufacturing facilities of various kinds. It's something he does quite regularly. Marit Stiles, the NDP leader, is in Kitchener, a community just outside of Kitchener today. She also was at Queen's Park this morning, where she unveiled her wrapped campaign tour bus with her face on the side. That was something they did this morning, and I'm not quite sure what she's planning to talk about in Kitchener, since not until later this afternoon. But the Trillium will have it covered for sure. And then Green Party leader Mike Schreiner is in Halton Hills, where he's having a meet and greet with his Green Party candidate down there.
All right, finally, before I let you go, Alan, the Chief Electoral Officer made an announcement regarding advance voting. What can you tell us?
Well, it looks like since the election writ was dropped, we got an update on sort of the schedule of things. And if you want to go get and vote early, some people like it because it's a bit more relaxed, low lines, that sort of thing. There'll be advanced polls open on February 20th to the 22nd, and you can go on Elections Ontario's website and find out where your advanced polling site is, if that's something you want to do. But and then if you don't do it, then you have to wait till Election Day on the 27th.
All right, good stuff. Alan S. Hale, reporter at the Trillium, on the campaign trail with Liberal Leader Bonnie Crombie. For complete Ontario election coverage, be sure to check out the Village Media outlet in your city. Become a Trillium insider today at thetrillium.ca and watch Trillium Talk every weekday right here from the campaign trail with our team of reporters at the Trillium. For all of us at Village Media, thanks for watching.